I hate streaming.
What's up, everybody, and welcome to the first Friday of April. I am Sonja, and these are the fellas, and welcome to Friday with the Fellas. The Legal Score presents, Prim and Proper still presents a little bit. I'm joined with Brian B.A. Arndt, of course, James J. Train Martin. Good evening, fellas. How are you all today?
I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, sis, and I hope you're doing well too, and you as well as you, my compadre B.
Absolutely. Got a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. Since I last saw you guys, we don't even have to talk about it no more. I addressed it on my Wednesday show. My Duke guys are home, got eliminated the same day the girls did. Wasn't really expecting the girls to advance like they did, but they did. And now their gents are home with them. I will say this though, and shout out to Pink Fanfare. Thank you, Pink, for the promos as always, and shout out to B for doing everything behind the scenes. I do want y'all's opinion on this part then. And then it's gonna be like literally 30 seconds to a minute and we're moving on because I don't want to give it a whole lot. But how were you guys' thoughts? Did you watch that game? First of all, did either one of you guys watch that game?
Watch the whole game.
Okay, so so putting aside, or should I say laying aside the 19-point deficit that UConn ate down in coming back, do you guys believe that loss is on Caden Boozer, who decided he was going to pass the ball, advance the ball, even though all they had to do was hold the ball until the time ran out?
No. For me, South Carolina. Danny, thank you. But for me,
Danny, that South Carolina was going to do it.
yes, for sure. Look, 19-point deficit is the main culprit. You can't take away from that. That's just, and to me, that's a matter of coaching. It's Hurley just saying, "Hey, we're going to make adjustments. We're gonna do this. We're going to do that. We're going to get back to 19 points, and we're going to hit the last minute shot. That last second shot, like I heard our compadre, our co-host on the Unprofessional Professional Sports Show, he said that you could have called a timeout. They could have called a time before he even got to that point when he got trapped. Look, I thought it was a bad pass. I agree, but it was 19 points. That's the biggest thing. Not making any adjustments to figure out how to stop that bleeding. What's going on, Yenzer? Look, that's about it. And I think the he made a mistake at the end, but it wasn't just his mistake. It's like blaming the kicker for not making the kick when Buffalo lost the Super Bowl when they could have won the game just in regulation. So you just can't blame your kicker, and that's just one play for that kid. He played a pretty decent game, and so that's not the major thing. It's the 19-point deficit that got taken away. That was it, and getting out coached.
What do you think, B?
Yeah, I think it's the coaching too. I think the coaching, not necessarily the 19-point lead is not necessarily something that I would blame on the coach. I mean, it is what it is. UConn's not going to settle. UConn's not going to sit there and just be pummeled to death. They were in the Elite Eight. They're not going to be trying to look like a bunch of scrubs that just got in there. They played a valiant effort. The players just played, and they worked through the whole situation. I think where it came down to the end of the game was very, very much so coaching. Like James said, they could have called a timeout. They could have held the ball. I mean, they would have to foul him, basically. I don't understand that whole situation right there. And That's what I said before when I said Duke choked in that whole situation. I mean, Duke is the coaching staff. Actually, is the coaching staff that choked in that situation because they should know better than that. He's been coaching for 3 years at Duke. You should know better than that by now, brother. You know what I'm saying? So I don't understand that whole situation. Duke had that game won. They had that game won, and when they had like 7.4 seconds left, they had the game won. So I don't know.
Yeah, I'm curious to know why Keith thought that there was time to call a timeout in that moment after the inbound pass, and because it happened so fast. Boozer had the ball, and he, in an attempt to pass it, was when it was turned over, and so I don't know where the timeout would have gone. He immediately took the shot and made it, and it was like 0.8 seconds left. There was no time to do anything after that. So I don't know where the timeout would have come into play, to be honest, unless you inbound it and you do a timeout at that point, and then you get to the half court. You already in half court once you use that timeout, and then you're closer in. I don't know if that's what he meant or not. I'd be interested. I'm gonna have to rewatch that show to see just what the synopsis was around that. But I don't know if a timeout would have just saved anything at all at that point. But yeah, and greetings to Danny and Yenzer, and there's a few other people I'm in here still sharing live. This is my first time live on my page without sharing, so welcome to my personal audience. But I mean, it's over. They say hindsight's 2020. You can't unscramble eggs. I don't know. It's going to take me a long time to get over that, because that specific hurt is a different type of hurt as opposed to losing. I'm disappointed in the 19-point deficit because Bobby Hurley was just so cocky, just because his brother, played with Duke, won a championship with Duke, and they were joking around, Bobby's coming in. I wonder where he'll sit. Will he sit over, with the Duke side, or will he sit with his brother? And then the look on Grant Hill's face, who was commentator of that game, was exactly mine. I literally was in there like, and the thing that I'm going to have to stop doing going forward, because clearly I'm the common jinxer of any sport, is I don't say anything. And then I get hopeful when the game is almost over, and I go in the group chat with y'all and everybody like, hey guys, what about my guys? And all I did this time was put a blue and a white heart and was like, how about this? I didn't even say the team name, and lo and behold, so I've made a promise that I will, I think it's Bo or Keith that always says, wait till the double zeros hit, but it was hard to watch. And I literally felt like I was having a small out-of-body experience. Like, there's no way this just happened. Like, this dude wasn't even at the 3-point line. He was almost at half court when he threw that ball. So a real heartbreaker. Ironically, we saw the same heartbreaker with the Duke ladies versus LSU, but and Flage was defending all she could when I can't remember the player from Duke's name, but anyway, scored on them at the buzzer and they won, so the heartbreak was reciprocated, and that's why they call it March Madness. We'll have a little bit more about March Madness here shortly. Let's talk about some NBA games that are in progress right now. The Charlotte Hornets versus Indiana Pacers. That's a big game. Charlotte way ahead. Hornets are dominating the paint. Brandon Miller leading all scorers with 28 points. Indiana struggling without Tyrese Halliburton, who is out with a torn Achilles. New York Knicks 78 versus the Bulls 41. This is halftime right now. The Knicks defense is stifling Chicago. Jalen Brunson has 22 points, 8 assists at the break. And then the Brooklyn Nets game versus the Atlanta Hawks at halftime. The Nets are down close to 24 points, 55-71. Atlanta fighting for their play-in position. And, you got to look at it. Trae Young being no longer a Hawk is a big thing for Atlanta right now. I think that was a mistake in actually trading him. I know every year they, wrestled at whether or not they were going to trade him. And then they did better without him for a little bit. But now they're back in the same position with the play-in to win situation. What are your guys' thoughts on that?
I mean, I still think they're doing better without him than they did with him. Kuminga seems like a much better fit for them. And what are we talking about Trae Young at this point right now this season? Not much of anything. And I mean, he's with the Wizards, but I mean, still,
Yeah.
again, and
like, that's not saying much. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And so I just
for a little magic.
yes, exactly. I just think that Atlanta has opportunities, even in the play-in. I mean, once you're in, you're in. If you win, you're in. So they have an opportunity, but I think with Kuminga, I think they have a great opportunity to move forward. I'm not a fan of Atlanta by any stretch of the imagination, but I think they're doing good. And you mentioned scores. I wanted to give your team a shout out, the Hornets. Knuppel, he hit a record. I don't know if you wanted to hit that or not. I don't want to say your thunder.
You've already led to it, so I'm gonna just let you do it because anybody can blow their own horn. In the words of the great Eartha Kitt, Mark and I don't want to blow my own horn.
Well, yeah, he's right now. He took the record for the Hornets with the 261st three-pointer, and he still got more to go than the rest of the regular season. It was Kemba Walker's record, and he took it. And congrats to him. And he's in the battle right now for offensive player, or rookie of the year with Cooper Flagg. So congrats.
And ironic, both of them Duke boys, both of them Duke alum. I'm super proud of both of them. Now that makes me happy as a Duke fan to see both of them literally get in the league and flourish. Now the Milwaukee Bucks are just a little bit behind the Celtics right now, 48-31 second quarter. This is a battle for the top seed. Jason Tatum, the Achilles repair, we know all about that, but Boston's depth is overwhelming with Giannis-led Bucks squad. Injuries, Luka, as always, devastating news for LA. He's officially out. Did you guys know that?
For the whole season, for the rest of the season.
High-grade hamstring strain. And I did not realize that until as we were prepping. I'm like, wait a minute, let me double check that because I know that has not happened. Was that today or yesterday? The last
yesterday.
Yeah.
And they got a whoops yesterday. They got destroyed by OKC.
He was having a bad. They were all having a bad game.
From the get-go.
From the get-go,
like 9 turnovers within the first. They had like 9 turnovers within the first 5 minutes of the game.
That defense, I guess. Oklahoma City wanted to say, we hear you guys coming up, but we want to show you who the real big dog on the block is. And they just slapped him around and called him Susan all day. And
my name is not Susan. Great Whitney. But again, and now also on another team, Joel Embiid, 76ers listed as out tonight versus Utah due to a right oblique strain. Management is actually cautious ahead of this game with the postseason, of course, with Kevin Porter Jr. with the Bucks sideline with right knee swelling. I know that they play a lot of games and it's very taxing on them guys. But Joel Embiid, backing up to him, this is an every season thing. He and Zion are cut from the same material, in my opinion. It's like they're tit for tat. One of them can't go down without the other one going down with them. So, blessings to Zion. Hopefully he stays in there because this is just, it almost seems like we're running a rerun from last year's show, honestly.
Yeah. With a name like Zion, you would think he'd have blessings from the Almighty above, but he does not.
Somebody needs to go do some atonement or something. Something ain't getting through.
Zion is only good in, what movie was that? Zion was with Keanu Reeves.
The Matrix?
Matrix, the Matrix. That's Zion,
his shoes were Matrix when he busted out of them, and that was the preview of what he was going to be doing in the league. No busting out with baskets, but busting out of shoes and cast or what have you. Danny says, OKC will be calling all Western Division Susie. Count on it. They are the Dodgers of baseball. Start playing when it's time. Danny comes on here and has all this rah, rah, rah. We don't even know who he follows because he has all these teams sprinkled throughout. I think he said he's a Hawks fan like Bo. And so I almost feel like, and then Danny doesn't cease to send me inboxes. I get inbox messages from him when Duke was eliminated. He was like, wow, both the guys and girls in one day. I just ignored it for a while because I was like, sir, no, I don't need that. And then he's go UConn, and all this, that, and the third. But that's just how he is. And speaking of, let's go ahead and hop over to checking our time, make sure I'm not on the halfway mark. The Final Four is upon us. The men's Final Four matchups, we'll talk about those first. They begin on tomorrow, 4-4. And happy 404 day to the Atlanta natives. James and I live here, but that's celebrated amongst y'all true Atlantans. And since, even though I've been here longer than I lived anywhere else, including home, that's you guys' day. So happy 404 day. Not in an endorsement, but I saw that Spirit Airlines is giving out $40 flights from Atlanta to certain cities to commemorate 404 day. So all of Atlanta is going to be turned up. Game 1 tomorrow in Indianapolis, number 1 UConn versus number 3 Illinois at 6:09 p.m. I've never rooted for Illinois. Tomorrow I will be. I know that Keith Engel, our co-host on this platform, has predicted Illinois to win it all. And tomorrow will be definitely a great preview of that. I honestly feel that any team that gets past UConn would be our champion. And, of course, UConn is going in there a heavy favorite to be a three-peat. They are the Chiefs of March Madness until the Chiefs were extinguished. Their key matchup is going to be UConn's interior defense versus Illinois' transition offense. Injury report, though, Silas Demarius from UConn is questionable with an ankle sprain. So that's going to be interesting. What are you guys' thoughts about this game coming up tomorrow, the first game?
So, as I said yesterday when we talked on the unprofessional show, Illinois has been number 1 in adjusted offensive efficiency. They have, they have made 59% of their shots from within the arc since March 1st. So right now, I just think they're on a tear, and I think as great as the coach as Dan Hurley is, I just think that UConn won't have enough for them off. I mean, they have really good defense, but they look like they had to make adjustments, like I said, against Duke. It's going to be tough against that offensive onslaught by Illinois. So I think that I'm going to go with Illinois on this one for the upset. A lot of people probably going with UConn. I think that's just the name that most people know because Illinois hasn't really been here. So I just think, but they've been playing incredible. So, and I wouldn't be surprised if UConn won now, considering what they've done and how they got this far. But I'm going to go with Illinois. Fighting Illini. For those of you who don't know sports and don't know the mascot of the Illinois basketball team, they are the Fighting
Illini. The name alone, that deserves them to get something. B, what are your thoughts on this?
I mean, usually if the team's playing hot right now, this time of the year in March Madness, they're gonna accelerate. So, yeah, I'm with James on this one. I'm taking Illinois over UConn. I think the winner was going to come out of that region anyway for the last two. So Illinois is the ones that got in there. So Big Ten's been very prominent in this tournament. So.
Well, I hope so, because like everyone got tired of seeing the chefs, we are tired of seeing UConn, and anyone that rolls with them is just a con artist. Okay, that's my opinion. The number 2 game, Arizona, number 2. Now, see, a lot of brackets have Arizona picked to win it all, even from the very beginning. I was looking at brackets. Of course, my bracket has just been combustible because I had Duke winning it all. I had 3 brackets. I picked Duke for 2 of them, and I think I let the computer pick the third one because I will never, I don't care if Duke's lost every game during the regular season. If their name is up there, I'm going to root for them to win it all. And I just was not going to pick against my team. I've been a fan since I was 12. And so that's literally my lifelong team. I was just thinking I'm going to have to talk to my sister and see if she has in storage some of our clothes from like middle school, because I kept all of my shirts that I had. I had a shirt every year. My grandfather bought them for me, and I would love to have them. I'm pretty sure I can't wear them, but I'll at least hold them up or whatever on the show. But now we got Arizona versus number 4 Michigan, and I'll let you elaborate a little bit on this first, B. You'll finally give us a little excitement because you've got a lion or lionette or whatever their mascot is in the fight, because I know you support Michigan. You guys can always tell when we're talking about non-Michigan teams or teams that are specifically the rivals of B. The energy literally drains through the keyboard. You could just see it. He's like, eh. And then he'll just say, well, if you want to answer, let me just say it for the show, but I really don't give a crap. So B, little plug there, and he's definitely wearing his Tigers hat tonight. All right, see the big D 313.
They won today. Yeah, opening day.
Yes, sir. All right. So that game is at 8:49 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, Arizona is actually bringing the nation's #1 offense to the court against Michigan's top-rated tournament defense. So they ranked #1 for the tournament. However, Michigan's Elliot Cadu was briefly hospitalized for an allergic reaction, but has been cleared for team travel. So I know that won't really affect him unless they've given him a lot of medication that may have him a little lethargic.
He's a bench player. But Michigan versus Arizona, this will be a Titan fight right here. I think this will be the best game of the tournament, to tell you the truth, because these are two teams that, yeah, you might see a lot of people picking Arizona as winning the bracket, but you see other people picking Michigan winning the tournament. So it's kind of like a 50-50 thing. If you're out west, you're picking Arizona. If you're out east, you're picking Michigan. Basically, that's how that's working out. It'll be a David and Goliath. And just to your point, Sonja, Michigan has been a top defensive team all year long. They've been one of the top 2 all year long. Easy for me to say. So yeah, they do really well against guarding the 3. They got the highest percentage against the 3 as far as defensively. And Arizona is pretty good. Arizona and Michigan are basically built the same way if you look at them, both these teams. And Michigan they got a good bench. I think Arizona might lack just a little bit on that end, but it's going to be a juggernaut fight. It is. And, this is a game that it can go either, Arizona's way or it can go Michigan's way. It depends on who takes their game to that level, to that other team. And like I said, it's probably going to be. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a lower scoring game too, because these defenses play well and the offenses they take their turns. But I'm picking Michigan because I picked Michigan anyway. Even though I didn't pick them to win the tournament, I actually picked Houston, but Houston destroyed my thoughts. So I still have Michigan as the other team. So I guess I got to pick them to go
real quick. All right, well, so you have it. All of us agree with Illinois, and do you agree with Michigan, James? Taking this one?
Yes, I'm going to take them with the edge. I think both teams have shown that they have been dominant, like B said, one defensively and both offensively, because both have been given the business to school. They've been triple-digit scores. Yeah. Given the business. And I think it's going to be tough. You got a #1 versus, and I have to correct you, I think Michigan is #1 in their bracket too.
Yeah,
so they were both #1. Yeah. So it's #1 versus #1. So that's going to be
only
a tough
2
one.
1 brackets left.
And I'm not surprised. I won't be surprised if Arizona wins, but I think Michigan's going to edge out Arizona. Danny, as you're saying, go Wildcats. I'll give you that, but I disagree with you. I think that Michigan and I'm sorry, and the Fighting Illini, the Wolverines versus the Fighting Illini in the final game.
Yeah, that's what they are, Sonja. They're Wolverines.
Wolverines. How could we forget after the whole football debacle with Sharon Moore? Yeah. Like everyone knows now. Everyone knows. By the way, small plug.
Yeah, know next year too.
They'll know next year.
They'll know next year. Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of him, just a small plug. He has received a lesser sentence, but the body cam came out from when he was actually pulled over. And I don't think I've ever seen an adult male cry at an arrest. I literally just watched it like, is this really happening? He was crying. It was broad daylight. He was driving his own vehicle. They were very professional with him, extremely professional. And he just immediately almost sounded as if he was convicted just from the time they got him out of the car. I mean, it's gonna be different. Has Michigan even hired anybody yet, B?
Yeah, they've been hired somebody, Sonja.
Yeah,
been hired somebody.
Somebody.
The guy from Utah. The hell is his name?
So that's my point. Somebody, but I don't know the name.
No, he's a good coach. He's a really good coach, actually. Yeah, I just don't know his name off the top of my head right now.
That's why I said that was my point of asking, and you proved my point by you not really being able to articulate his name off the rip. He hasn't proven himself. He's okay, but he's no Sharon Moore or no Harbaugh. That's my point.
He's better than Sharon.
Than Sharon Moore.
Way better than Sharon Moore.
Okay, but you guys don't know his name. Gotcha.
Well,
go ahead and look it up.
Know his name because we ain't talking about no football. We're talking about basketball. Come on,
but you have to. So, like we're not talking about football for the Panthers, but I know Coach Canales right off the rip. I know who he is. I know him.
I know Coach Canales.
Right.
I knew that too.
All right. Well,
yeah, wow.
Before we switch gears here, because we're at while B does his research and tries
Willingham, I believe. Yeah.
Willingham. Okay. While we're waiting on that.
Whittingham,
yeah. It's Whittingham.
Winningham?
No, Whittingham.
Whittingham.
I was about to say, so he's winning and bringing ham? Okay. All right. So I think this is a great time to pause for our halfway point before I go to the women's Final Four, just to make sure I give adequate coverage of that and discussion. And with that, myself, J Train, and B will be right back. You guys hang tight. All right, and we are back. You guys saw the commercial break there. Make sure you check out all of our shows here on McGrath Podcast Network. Thank you so much, B, for all the work you've done behind the scenes and getting that together. And thank you for all of our contributors. As you know, we have a lot of shows lined up, a mixture of shows, not just sports. We got a little bit of legal talk. We got some movie reviews, and it's just nonstop over here at McGrath Podcast Network. So, and thank you to all of you for following us, subscribing, and sharing. All right, guys, we are now in the women's basketball tournament talk, and congrats are in order. The big news, down goes the Husky Hoes. And I'm talking about the UConn ladies, y'all. They are out of there. Congratulations to Coach Dawn Staley. Once again, number 1, South Carolina, 62 to UConn's 48. They didn't stand a chance. Dawn got it done. They have advanced to the national championship after defeating the undefeated Huskies. And now they will face the matchup that will be starting here at 9:40, Texas versus UCLA. They're going to be facing the winner of that game. I am rooting for Texas because there is a very annoying fan that watches this show that has been bragging about UCLA all week. And the key clue is he's been commenting a lot tonight. And so we want to make sure that those Bruins go right on back to brewing coffee or whatever they're doing back home. Guys, are you shocked about the South Carolina win, Coach Staley, against the undefeated UConn Husky Hoes?
So first of all, the 2 words, Husky Hoes. What is this?
Like a big hoe.
Oh, go ahead, B. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to steal your
thunder. You're good. You're good. You're good, brother. You're good. I was just laughing at Sonja and the Husky Hoes.
Yeah, I have a small moment of laughter here and there.
See, she's on the wrong show. She should be on the unprofessional professional
I know,
show.
my schedule. I got to get back over there. I don't even have class on Wednesday. It's just Wednesday's my night that I'm always catching up from all the work for Monday and Tuesday and trying to prepare for my Thursday class. But I was thinking about it, and I got to get back over there. But yeah, I mean, Azee Fudd, what a name, from UConn, and Sarah Strong were the leaders for the Huskies, but it wasn't enough. They weren't Strong or Fudd when it came down to the road of the South Carolina ladies.
They were Elmer Fudd and later
They were.
They got Staleyed.
Were you guys?
And speaking of getting Staleyed, so the coach they had a couple of words towards the end of the game, but at the end of the game, the coach didn't shake anybody's hand. And Gino,
yeah,
he didn't shake anybody's hand.
I saw that.
That's very classless there, sir.
Well, that's
you won last
year. So what happens when you get beat by 14 points?
Yeah, but they won last year. And I'm pretty sure Dawn shook his hand. I mean,
this would have been like their third time. Second time?
Yeah.
Be all right. They'll be all right.
Don't be soft. Don't be a wuss.
Right.
Take the lady's hand and move it on.
Don't be like Isaiah and the Pistons.
Are you guys shocked that South Carolina for the upset though? Because everybody had UConn taking it on in.
I mean, I'm not shocked.
Not shocked. Sarah Strong was named AP Women's Basketball Player of the Year, but you can't count out Dawn, man. You can't count out her team. They're always in it, and they're back in it now. So congrats to Dawn Staley and her team. South Carolina is and they probably go. I mean, I don't know. They might have a tough one against one of those number ones over there, but we'll see. I
go ahead, James.
No. I just think. Look, you
Jefferson Fuller.
I'm with you. I'm with you, Danny, man. I'm with you.
Yeah.
Hello, that's totally classes, man. Just come on. You lost. Just go on about your business. Shake the hand and leave. That's it. You don't have to like the person. Just show respect. That's it. I don't know. They might have a tough one against who is it? Either Texas or UCLA. Both those teams are pretty tough. So
Texas coming off a dominant Elite Eight win behind Madison. So yeah.
I like Texas, but to beat UCLA, but I'm sorry. South Carolina came in this tournament balling. They beat the first team they beat them by 70 points. Dawn's got this team just running through other teams. It's just, it ain't even funny anymore. It's like I said to whoever won this game would win the tournament, because it's kind of like what we see in a men's tournament with Arizona and Michigan, because those are the two best teams left in that tournament. And these were the two best teams in this tournament, in my opinion, was Connecticut and South Carolina. And no, I wasn't really surprised that South Carolina won, although UConn was really heavily favored to win the tournament itself. So, but I'm happy. I like Dawn. You know, Dawn is my my boo. I like Dawn. She's a tough play. She's a tough coach. I love her. Should have been a Knicks coach.
I was looking, I'm trying to corroborate this. Did someone get suspended from South Carolina for program conduct detrimental to the team? Chad Baker Mazzara? I'm trying to see who this person is. That name came out. I don't know what it's about. I'm gonna have to look and get back to you guys. Let me see real quick. Let me see if it's related, because so in the big game, do you guys who do you think will win it all then? How about that?
Oh, who are gonna win? They're gonna win it all. Who's winning it all?
Yeah.
Oh, South Carolina.
Yeah, especially now that they've gotten this far. Like once you get past, like I was saying about the guys, if you could get past UConn, in my opinion, you know, you've got a good chance. You guys agree with that?
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, considering the fact that UConn was the best team going in there and they beat them by 14 points, I tell you, she's got the foot on the gas. This team is just rolling right now. It could be like kind of what Illinois is going through. So for the men's, because she's got these girls playing, they are.
I gotta kind of see
these teams.
I gotta see these two games, and I mean these two teams tonight, and see, because I mean I think South Carolina is great, but I don't know. We'll have to see with these two teams. These are tough teams that she one of those teams she got to face. We'll have to see. But I like South Carolina. I like Dawn. So, but let's not count out two other number one teams here.
I like
Texas. Texas was the started off as the number one number one in the country at the beginning of the year for the women's college basketball. So let's keep that in mind too. So Texas is a good team.
Yeah, I like Dawn and the ladies to go on all the way. Like I said, if UConn, you know, I'm not counting out any of the other two teams that are literally starting in the next 3 to 4 minutes. UCLA versus number one Texas. Both of those are number one teams. But I just think it's Dawn's time. It's time to represent for one of the Carolinas. Y'all know how I am about that. I'm always down for the Carolina. And you know, she's a sister girl. I'm proud of her. I'm proud of what she's doing. Philly native. Everybody, you know, kind of talks about how she comes in walking like Kenny. What's Kenny's last name? Y'all know who it is. Kenny
Smith.
Yeah. They
Kenny
always say
Smith.
they walk alike because they all from Philly or whatever. Some little shuffle they do. But I'm interested to see, of course, that game kicking off here. So by the time we are wrapped up and that game is on, we won't have a final score tonight, but it likely will be definitely talked about on Sunday morning. I know you guys had a debate show in the morning, but Keith Engel probably will be doing some sort of show on tomorrow where he will be talking about that. So congratulations to all the teams that made it thus far, and good luck. And of course, we are all pulling for Coach Staley. So it looks like we agree on all the picks. So there's that. Let's switch over to a little bit of MLB, and then we'll wrap up with some NFL news. Of course, we talked about opening week performance leaders. Of course, the Orioles right now, the Baltimore Orioles, 4, the Rangers 3. Baltimore utilized the new ABS challenge rule to overturn a critical strikeout in the 9th inning. The Pirates 5, the Reds 1. Paul Skenes earned the win, pitching 5 innings with 5 strikeouts. That's hard. That is hardcore. Only 1 earned run. This follows a rocky debut, 67.5 ERA against the Mets last week. So kudos to him. Leaders, of course, Nico Horner, the Cubs, leading the league with 4 stolen bases in 7 games. He just signed a massive extension. Matt Chapman for the Giants is under fire for a verbal altercation with a teammate in the dugout, though no league discipline is expected. Guys, I mean, first of all, it's early in the season. Were you guys shocked about, let's back up a little bit. Were you shocked about the 4 stolen bases in 7 games is big so early on? I mean, I know it's early, but that's actually good. Don't you guys agree?
That's a good start.
Well, he's got an extension of his contract, so no.
That'll get you stealing even more. So
it's early. I mean, all this stuff that we're looking at right now, you got 162 games in the season. It's still early. We didn't even reach 10 games yet. So I mean, it's everything is relative right now.
Even this arguments happen. You got a bunch of people. It's hot. It's gonna happen. Injuries, unfortunately, already start now. AJ Puck for the Diamondbacks moved to the 60-day IL league for an elbow injury. Jordan Lawler for the Diamondbacks also was probable tonight because of a wrist, and that's pretty much all we have for baseball right now. Gonna switch on over right on time to the NFL. Let me start out with the smaller news for the NFL and build up. All right, so after I don't know how many teams this dude played for, Stephon Gilmore announced yesterday his retirement. I know he got at least 5 or 6 teams that he played for. 2-time All-Pro officially filed his retirement papers. Actually, today he announced it yesterday. And so I know he was with the Panthers for a little bit. We tried to, give him out, but he's everywhere but nowhere. And he is 35, if I'm not mistaken. So still young enough to get a chance to, Danny, get out of here. What time does your baseball team play? What time do they play? We never tried to get one. I'm a Braves fan, sweetie. He never did try to, get, anywhere beyond where he was. We tried to get a little time out of him, but he had that really standout year. Was it with the Texans? And I felt like he was going to be good then. And then all of a sudden he just wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but 35 is a good prime age to retire. He still got his health. And, we wish him well. Were you guys surprised or had he kind of faded in the background? You're like, who? Oh, yeah, him.
Let me say, Stephon Gilmore in his prime was a dog. He was a dog. He was Defensive Player of the Year. He played for the he played for the Patriots. He played for the Minnesota Vikings. He played the Bills. He also played for the for the Carolina Panthers. Stephon Gilmore was just a beast, and of course, and even in his later years, he had specific roles where he played, a decent corner. So yeah, I give him a shot, man. And does he have a chance at the Hall of Fame? Maybe. I think maybe he does later on in his career. I mean, later on down the line, but he's got that kind of career. If you look, I don't know what his interception total is, but he's for a short period of his career, he was very locked down in a shutdown corner. I'll put him in the same ilk as maybe I can't say Darrelle Revis, but maybe like a Champ Bailey or something like that. He's kind of like in that same ilk. So excellent. And Champ Bailey's in the Hall of Fame. So
you agree, B?
So Gilmore retired, just to get up the stats there, retired with 149 pass breakups, 32 interceptions across 180 NFL appearances. He was Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 because he helped New England win a Super Bowl, by the way. He got drafted by Buffalo first, and then New England kind of poached him from Buffalo. That's how that goes in that division. He's also a former South Carolina star there, Sonja. So give him some props. He's from South Carolina.
Yeah, no, that's why the Panthers were talking about bringing him home. Literally, that's how they were telling everybody. Because he's from.
So yeah, I mean, he had a decent run. There was times when you shouldn't be throwing on Gilmore. Like the first maybe 8 years of his career, I don't think nobody would want to throw on him. But it was like the last 5 that really kind of showed his downtread. The last team he played for was Minnesota, and he didn't do a very good job for Minnesota. But I mean, NFL players' longevity usually lasts about 10 years. So I mean, being 3 years past that, you got to give him that. He was a decent corner.
He's a pretty big corner, so he played good for his size.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say Hall of Fame, maybe. There's a lot of cornerbacks in the Hall of Fame that are really good. So, yeah.
There's a lot in there that you're
though.
like, okay, they were playing against plumbers and electricians too as well.
Yeah.
Way back in the day.
Everybody says
they were more conditioned back then too for all the regular manual labor they did outside of playing football.
Yeah,
so.
they weren't crying about stuff, and they weren't up there trying
now
to be.
They're paying everybody to do it, so they're not conditioned outside of the norm. They gotta go get their nails painted and stuff like that, manicures. Speaking of manicures, this guy just won't stop. I mean, I do not know how this is happening. Everyone knows the Raiders were and still are the #1 pick with the draft coming up in a couple of weeks. We'll have some special features around that here on the network. Fernando Mendoza projected to go #1, but if he goes #1, and he will go #1, what's up, Bo? And he will go #1. Who's gonna help him acclimate? You just gonna throw him out there like the Panthers did Bryce Young, even though they had for Bryce, Andy Dalton was there. Then you got Jackson. I always mix these guys up. The Giants, Dart, and then the guy that went to the Titans. Lord, I'm having a brain freeze. But anyway, Jackson, Dart, and Fern's quarterback. They didn't have anybody to grab onto in Tennessee or New York. So I guess the Raiders thought the same thing. Like, hold on, we've seen this narrative before with other teams. If we put Fernando out there, we know the Raiders are already horrible, but just how horrible are they going to be? So who did they call up? What's up, Jay? None other than Mr. You Like That. Kirk Cousins, y'all, putting on his 25th uniform. Now, as a Raider, $20 million guaranteed in the first year. And the Falcons is playing, I think they've paid out all of his guaranteed money, but I did read somewhere that they're still paying him some stuff behind the scenes. But this dude is supposedly brought in. His agent is the real MVP. I need to find and contact his agent because clearly, once I get barred, I need to get plugged in to be on his legal team in some capacity. And so, because they clearly got the money to pay me, so there's that. And then we'll have him on the show like. But the thing is, he's still there. So Kirk's family and everybody's now picking up, moving to the desert. All right. So they've been everywhere. And now they're leaving Atlanta and they're now in Las Vegas. And I mean, kudos to him. They are not letting him lay by the sidelines and just, fade out of existence. And it is crazy, Jay. He's going to be a good mentor for Mendoza, but these contracts are astronomically high. And like they said, I don't think I read anywhere that it's just the first year only. This is just the first year of the contract. Number one, guys, were you surprised that he is going to go to the Raiders, that they're not just going to draft Mendoza and let him learn, the Raider way on his own, or that he's got this $20 million? So it's a two-part question. So y'all can cipher it.
I'm not surprised at either one. Kirk Cousins has been doing this since he's been in the league. He and his, like you said, alluded to his agent is got on a mask, and Kirk Cousins put on his mask, and they became the Raiders. They raided everybody.
Plunder them.
They got their 6 shooters. They got their 6 shooters and just riding across the country, going to teams and just taking all the money from everybody, bank robbing folks. I mean, 84 million guarantees. The first quarterback to get that much guaranteed with Minnesota. Then he got another big contract, guaranteed money. Went down to Atlanta, got 150 guaranteed, and now he's in. This is the dude that had a high floor when he was drafted. He was a 4th round draft pick, and he's got naked pictures of somebody. He's got maybe what's the guy's name? The commissioner
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell.
Roger Goodell. Yeah, Roger just like, yeah, just send him over here.
He must got him of his mama.
Somebody, because Kirk Cousins is busted up, had a Achilles torn, and got 100+ million, and now he's going to the Raiders, and he's going to be a mentor. And then it's not it's a facade of what the contract really is. They're showing you that it's 5 year, 175, but in reality, the guaranteed money is a 1 year contract for $20 million. But still, when I first saw that big number there, I was like, oh, come on, you got to be kidding me.
Yeah.
There's no way. Like he's got to be he's not embezzling, but I would say he's doing, what do you call it when you're blackmailing somebody? What's the E? What it begins with an E? What is it called? I can't think of it.
The Epstein files?
Espionage? No,
not espionage. What is it? What's the word?
I think he's got the Epstein files. I do. I think he's got the Epstein
files.
Maybe.
No, you can't say that. We're gonna be going. That's a whole nother.
We'll be in trouble.
Listen, Kirk Cousins. That means, and that's the thing, guaranteed money, like you said, James, though, with all these injuries. And if he goes down, we've seen it in Atlanta, he's just going to be chilling, just modeling the uniform. I mean, how crazy is this? And that's why he runs around and says, you like that. That's exactly why he says that, because he knows that he is the poster child for how to get away with robbing an NFL team.
I mean, with money aside, though, there's a lot of ridiculous contracts out there. Okay. I mean, he's been doing this from day one. And like I said, his agent is going to be in the Hall of Fame just as the agent,
You're the first agent to be inducted in the Hall of Fame.
Inducted into the Hall of Fame for ballywhacking people for money. But as far as the Raiders are concerned, regardless of the money that they spent on Cousins, I think this is a very good pickup for them. Because if they get Mendoza, the thing I want to see what the Raiders do, though, are they going to start Cousins instead of Mendoza just so Mendoza can sit behind him?
No,
I would think that if they paid him that much money, they would at least start him for the first year, because his option for 27, 28 is like an $80 million option or whatever it is, that goes along with his $5 million package, but whatever. So if they feel that Mendoza is going to be good, let's say maybe Kirk Cousins plays pretty well, maybe for half of the season. Then they decide to put Mendoza in there, depending on what, the Raiders record is at the time and how everything's going and injuries and all that stuff. And they see that Mendoza, he might not be the guy. So they do have something to fall on just in case, because remember, they picked up a rookie. So his rookie contract isn't, whatever. They want to pay that, pay the rebound for that for another 5 years. So they could even move on from him if that's the case. But I mean, it's a good pickup I think the Raiders have basically did a 180 in what they did last year. Last year they were just, we can look at it, hindsight's 2020, but they made a lot of moves that thought they're going to win right now. Didn't work out any of those ways. In fact, it's lost right now. That's the reason why he got the number one pick, because they totally stunk. So
let's not forget
about the name of the quarterback was Cam Ward. I always mix him and Jackson Dart up. I know Jackson Dart because he came in there. They had the Scooby-Doo music playing when he looked like he was about to fight a crime and went in and got beat down. So I'm sorry, James. What were you saying?
Let's just not forget that there's a running back there by the name of Ashton Genty. He's probably going to have a little bit of a redemptive year, and you also have Brock Bowers there as a tight end there, and so they're gonna do well in the draft. They already did well in free agency for the defense, so they're going to get opportunities to continue to repeat. I mean, to try to get their offense shored up. But I think right now you're looking at what's the guy's name? We just mentioned him, Kirk Cousins. He's probably going to be the bridge quarterback, but I'm not going to say that Mendoza won't come into camp and beat him out. There's a potential that he can. I mean, look at what Russell Wilson did when Matt Flynn came in as the newly signed free agent starter in Seattle, and Russell Wilson, the 3rd round draft pick, came in and beat him out, and you know what happened from there. So I think Mendoza is a really good enough quarterback to come in and to be able to do that. But again, it can go either way. If Mendoza beats him out, you have a really good veteran quarterback to back up Mendoza. And if something happens to Mendoza, he can come in and shore it up and get some really good quality savvy veteran play. And some at least if he doesn't play, he can at least give him some financial advice on how to fleece the league. So
yeah. That's true. I mean,
$1
they are
million.
in Vegas. Why not take a gamble? They're in what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, including their wins and losses. So
I do think this is going to be Kirk Cousins' last hurrah. I think he's going to retire after this. Just
what is he, 38?
He's just that kind of guy.
38?
Yeah, he's 38. Yes, it's time for him to
Speaking
hang
of,
up the cleats.
But I will say before you do this, Sonja, he's outperformed his draft potential. He was a 4th round draft pick, so he's far exceeded the expectations of what he wasn't great, but he was good. He was very good. 4th round draft pick usually doesn't make it to where Kirk Cousins has made it. So for the Hall of Fame of fleecing, he'll probably be in the Hall of Fame for fleecing the league. Sure.
cutting the ribbon on introducing a new section for the Hall of Fame, the fleece section, where agents compete for the highest contract versus the output of the player.
And they're going to make it like a Greek status. They're going to put the golden fleece on him.
I'll let y'all know if it's already there when I go in August. It may already have a tiny section already just waiting. Davey, I saw your question. I don't know. We're going to have a segment where we actually talk about schedules once they're released, the actual date. That's going to be a little bit later on. I think that's interesting to look at all the team schedules as far as difficulty and things like that. I don't know if the Reds would be finishing 4th. They may go up to 3 this year. But that's definitely something to keep an eye on. And like I said, we could talk a little bit about that after the draft. I'm sure the guys here are interested with that. And especially once our schedules are all solidified, even though the opponents are solidified, the timing is not. And sometimes it's about the timing of the games. You could start out hot versus all these little easy teams. And next thing you know, your team is worn down and you're now facing difficult teams and your schedule just flips, it reverses. So the games that you should have put your all into, you no longer have that. So it's going to be very important to see when the schedule itself comes out that matches the opponents versus the opponents versus the schedule that we have coming up. So definitely keep that question in mind and join us for that. Got a little bit of legal NFL news as we get ready to wrap up here. This is a shocker, at least to me. Puka Nacua of the Rams currently is entering rehab, guys, after a biting incident at a club. He's in a rehab facility. His legal team is fighting a civil lawsuit right now involving allegations of a physical altercation. I told you guys he bit someone, and they said hate speech was also laced throughout this rant. Are you all surprised? I mean, James, I know specifically for you, you always kind of like hold him in high regards for his on field, talent that we've seen. Matter of fact, you were the main reason why I knew who he was, because honestly, aside from reading his name for little things we had here on the show, I really wasn't paying that much attention to him. Were you shocked by this behavior and the outcome and everything that's just going on right now, especially with him being in the, the runner-up for the NFC division here? Well, yeah, the runner-up, because Seattle won it all. So
yeah, I know we got short time here, but yeah, I can say that I was surprised by this, and I know there are allegations, but yeah, he's in the mix with this, and I'm disappointed, but I'm very highly surprised by this, and now people are talking about whether or not the Rams are going to possibly, what are they going to do with them? Or are they going to keep him? They're going to keep him. He's still a dominant player. I mean, if you play like that, you put up 1,800 yards or so like that, you're a star. I mean, you might be in the Antonio Brown segment here now going forward because you're doing some crazy stuff off the field. But yeah, but I think I'm very surprised, but I think he'll probably bounce back from this and go forward and still being dominant the way he is.
You surprised me?
He has been.
I am kind of surprised because of the his family, the way his family is. They're pretty good, close knit family, and I guess when you bring your kids up, I always say this all the time. You can raise your kids to the best of their ability, but in the long run, they're still individuals at the end of the day. So they're going to have their own thought processes. And maybe this is where Puka, breaks away from that whole situation. Kind of find it funny. Not funny, but I kind of find it a little bit cheesy, the fact that he's getting ready to get paid too.
Yep.
Because news comes around the time he's about to get paid. It's kind of like somebody's trying to throw a monkey wrench into that whole situation. I don't know if that's going to hinder his contract talks with the Rams, but we'll find out, because that's a player personnel that's looked at a lot on every team. Every team looks at people their personal wise, not just as a player, but as a person. So I don't know how much that's going to damage his money, because he is slated to be the high. You remember JSN just got paid that whopping contract. So if Puka goes out there, I mean, it's because of the fact that JSN got that whopping contract that he'll probably get bigger contract, because that's just how it flows a lot of times.
Public relation announcement: when it's time to get that bag, keep your choppers to yourself.
That's right. True.
Literally.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. I guess it depends on, how his conduct is with his teammates and personnel that are there, if they can, override this one incident, because everybody has a bad incident. But however, in this day and age with cameras, 21 Savage says it best. People pull out their cameras when they hear shots rather than calling for help. He literally has a verse in his song, I Wish, that talks about the fact that people rather record and go viral than do the right thing. So there's cameras everywhere. Speaking of cameras, as we cover the last little bit here, and Danny, we don't have anything aside from the legal gambling news with the NBA. I just looked to double check to make sure I hadn't missed anything. I don't see anything other than, your bestie Tiger Woods has also entered rehab. Now he's got permission to go out of the country. He don't even want nobody to know where he is in the country. This is his second season missing the tournament here in Augusta. He's going to Ireland or Dubai or wherever, and good luck to him. He's probably already there. But bouncing back real quick to the NFL, Rashid Rice the league is actually looking into a multiple game suspension for him after the high-speed racing legal proceedings in Texas that came out about him. We keep seeing these players speeding. Even Henry Ruggs, who's serving time for unaliving a lady and her dog, is talking about he's coming up for parole here in a couple more years, and he wants to come back to the league. And so I know these people are human, but my mindset is, if you are in that position and you're earning millions of dollars, you call you a driver. We call them, and we don't even make that. We Lyft, we Uber everywhere. There is no reason why you shouldn't think that if you're making that much money, that you're not under more scrutiny than anybody else, and your mistakes will be heightened and elevated because you're supposed to be in a level that is a little bit above your average Joe. So I think if the league starts cracking down on these suspensions with speeding offenses, it will negate some of the other things that we've seen throughout. And there's several players throughout the league right now that have had incidents in college that have taken the lives of other people, and they're still playing in the league. So I don't know what the multi-game suspension looks like. We'll have to give you guys the details on that. But that is going on right now with everything he's got going on. And of course, the cameras out there, you guys could probably look it up out in Texas. But other than that, guys, that's all I have. James B., you guys got anything else?
Just an addendum on that legal thing. NFL will not discipline Rice over the assault allegations that came out 3 hours ago. So they won't do anything.
So, he has the assault as well. So
yeah,
I guess they're just like, see, that's my thing is, I don't know why you would discipline without one without the other. And this is not his first assault. That's my thing. Everybody, like I said, because people love to call 911 and it's not really what it is, But multiple situations, it's like, okay, now your eyebrow is raised. It's clearly a you issue at this point. So Join James and B in the morning with Jack Hirsch for the debate show. And join me tomorrow at 4 p.m. for the legal score. I'll be talking about some more of the things that we just brought up now. And with that, I thank you, B and James, always for a great show. This is Friday with the Fellas, and I'm Sonja, and we wish you guys all a good night.